On 7's Gold Coast News, another weather threat. Roads go under again as power is restored 2 weeks after the region's dual weather disaster.
The before and after, a quarter of Gold Coast streets now cleared.
Work begins to fix up 20 local schools before students return.
The risky rescue to save a young man's life at a Cedar Creek waterfall.
Teens terrorised several suburbs. A Mudgeeraba cafe hit, others seen armed with a hammer.
And choosing a champion ahead of the Magic Millions yearling sale.
Live from the Gold Coast, 7 News with Amanda Abate and Steve Titmus.
Good evening. We begin tonight with developing news, and more severe weather has hit the Gold Coast this afternoon.
Jordan Quinn is in Nerang, and Jordan, several roads have already been cut.
Steve, the Weather Bureau issued a severe thunderstorm warning earlier this afternoon for parts of the hinterland. Water is already over a number of roads, including Cligiraba Road, where 116 millimetres of rain has fallen. More than 80 millimetres has also been recorded at Little Nerang Dam. The hinterland remains in the firing line, but tonight there's some relief after power supply was restored. Above Rama Selwood's dining table is a constant reminder of Christmas Day. What happened to your roof?
It's got a hole.
For the past fortnight, it's been the least of his worries. Every single day without power has been a battle.
It's about keeping an eye on the penthouse, not going down to the basement. You just got to keep happy.
But now relief when finally the lights came back on.
Every home has the ability to have supply once their installation is safe to do so. So, mammoth achievement.
As of 7 p.m. last night, supply was returned to 130,000 properties. 1,000 workers have replaced 150 poles, 120 kilometres of power lines.
We've worked 80,000 hours on this restoration effort so far.
Still, there's more to be done. There are still more than 600 damaged homes across the Gold Coast and Scenic Rim that are unable to connect to the power grid. There is supply available, but repairs need to be made at those properties before Energex crews can reconnect them. Zdenka Ashfield is still waiting. The power pole in her front yard is broken. She needs an electrician to fix it.
But he's been that busy and on holidays now, and I'm on the list to try and get another one.
In the meantime,
all I can do is wait and hope for the best.
Energex crews will remain on Tamborine Mountain, repairing and rebuilding the rest of the power grid.
The network will be back to normal condition in the next few weeks.
Closing a dark chapter in the hinterland's history. Jordan Quinn, 7 Gold Coast News.
Live to Liz Cantor now. And Liz, when will we see an end to this relentless weather?
Well, unfortunately, storm season runs through till February, which is usually our wettest month, but it may have some stiff competition this year. From early this morning, we saw frequent showers and drizzle before northerly winds pushed in warm, muggy air that led to a build-up of instability. This resulted in an outbreak of storms around 1 p.m. over our inland region, which you can see by the areas of red and black. There were some severe cells, resulting in intense rainfall, which moved through around 3 p.m. For some Gold Coast areas, storms will remain on the forecast tomorrow. I'll have more details later in the weather.
Okay, it's not sounding too good. Liz Cantor there from Service Paradise. A quarter of Gold Coast streets have now been cleaned up as part of a mammoth mission to clear debris. Tonight we can show you before and after as workers now turn their attention to hundreds of other neighbourhoods.
It's been called a once-in-a-generation clean-up.
We're rolling up our sleeve and getting on with it.
Council workers are out, 1,000 boots on the ground to remove 75,000 truckloads of debris. Creedman Road was a mess. Now it's clear.
Green waste trucks will come through first. We'll clean all that up. On the website, it'll tell you what date, so you can work to the program.
And if your street isn't listed,
send an email or ring up and go, hey, this street needs to be on.
So far, 25% of the 900 streets have been fixed, a project that's expected to take weeks. weeks. The State Emergency Service has responded to 3,586 jobs. Over 1,000 people put their hand up to join the SES.
We're going through something worse than I've seen.
We've conducted 1,675 door knocks and welfare checks, predominantly in the western and northern parts that were significantly impacted by the storms.
75,000 grant applications have been submitted by Gold Coasters. And if you have any questions,
go to the hubs and talk to council officers who are handling these grants, and they're up to date of what other grants are available. A lot of people, of course, are traumatised with losing all their belongings, emotional, lack of sleep.
A special hotline has been set up for locals needing extra support during these challenging times. 1-800 11 66 71.
Because we don't want to leave anyone behind.
Danielle Bowen, 7 Gold Coast News.
All Gold Coast schools are expected to be ready in time for students to return. Mel Whiteman, 20 were damaged.
And there's a lot to do to fix them up, Amanda. Of those 20, Helensvale and Coomera were the hardest hit. Across schools, the Education Minister visited school Helensvale today, which was one of the worst hit. She says she's determined to get students back in the classroom for day one, ready to start the school year.
2 weeks until gates swing open. This is Helensvale State School, the roof of a Year 6 classroom brought down by a fallen tree. Courts are covered in debris, fences crushed.
It's our 40th anniversary this year, so it's a clunky way to start off the year, but it'll add to the memories of the school, that's for sure.
Coomera, Coombaba, Oxenford, 20 Gold Coast schools are damaged. At Tamborine Mountain College, there's relief. Power's back and the mess was minor.
The route to schools, I think, that is even could be in question.
The damage bill still isn't known, but the Education Minister is confident.
Every child will be starting the school year with their own classroom.
Repairs are being fast-tracked. Still, some students at Helensvale will have to relocate.
They'll be in a normal classroom space, and the anticipated time of completion of that project is a month or so.
Community spirit is already shining through. Volunteers offering to rally together and help with the clean-up. But first, school grounds need to be made safe.
As crews race to get students back to school on time. Mel Whiteman, 7 Gold Coast News.
A man's life has been saved during a tense rescue operation in the hinterland. The 22-year-old had fallen from a waterfall and was found unconscious in the water.
In a rocky mountain canyon, police helped to keep a young man alive. Around them, a group of people who had dragged the 22-year-old from the water.
Tell me what happened.
They had seen the Ipswich man plunge down Curtis Falls, 10 metres. He was unconscious when they got to him.
What position did he land in? Head first, feet first, back first? Did you see his head hit any of those rocks on the way down?
The victim had serious head injuries.
I think he might have been airlifted out, potentially.
A rescue helicopter was called, police using their bodies to shield the victim as rotor wash from the aircraft blasted across the falls. The area is a popular hiking trail and swimming location, but there are signs warning of life-threatening dangers, and these adventurers should not have been here. The falls were closed, the area hit by the Christmas Day storm and New Year's flood. Tonight, the 22-year-old remains in a serious condition in the Princess Alexandra Hospital. Josh Adsett, 7 Gold Coast News.
Well, tonight we can show you a remarkable video of the moment a Gold Coast woman was rescued from a car wreckage. Sam Payne, motorcyclists came across the crash.
Yes, Amanda, and a warning, some viewers may find this video distressing. It happened yesterday just before midday. A Toyota Hilux crashed on a rural road on the Sunshine Coast. 2 dirt bike riders then arrived to find the ute flipped. The pair ripped out the smashed windscreen and pulled the 18-year-old Pacific Pines woman from the vehicle.
You all right?
Next in the news at 6, we show you more of a video plus an update on how the woman and the passengers are tonight.
OK, Sam Payne there. Teen gangs have spent the weekend terrorising residents and business owners across several Gold Coast suburbs. In Oxenford, young criminals were spotted armed with a hammer. Further south, a cafe was raided in Mudgeeraba.
Smashed by a pot plant. Two masked teens raid a Mudgeeraba cafe. One goes for the cash, the other cans of drink. In Oxenford, another group pulls up in a stolen car, a hammer in his hand. A teen opens an unlocked Mercedes and steals a purse from inside. His shoeless partner in crime then arrives, but this juvenile has gloves and attempts to steal the vehicle.
They don't care. They'll just go and take whatever they want.
Samantha Tapscott's home also hit. This time the vehicle doesn't even stop as they check car doors.
We're not safe.
The spree on Saturday morning went through Oxenford, Pacific Pines, Hope Island and Upper Coomera.
My son, he's 13, and like these kids are younger than him.
There was also reports the same teens startled a woman with the hammer here at Springwood Avenue.
Police have arrested 3 teens aged 15, 12 and 11.
Get them into the army. They could help with the clean-up.
3 teenagers were arrested in Pimpama too after a 53-year-old woman was threatened at knife point.
Serious repeat offenders that decide to put balaclavas on, arm themselves.
And maybe beyond rehabilitation. Sam Payne, 7 Gold Coast News.
Coming up, more disaster help on offer next, where and when you can apply.
And the magic begins as horses prepare to go under the hammer. A 10-year-old boy has been hit by a car in Mermaid Waters. He was on a pedestrian crossing on Cottesloe Drive just after 9 when he was struck. The boy was taken to hospital with pelvic injuries and damage to his teeth. The driver, an 88-year-old woman, was shaken. She was breath tested at the scene.
More help is now available for residents impacted by the storms and flood emergency. Disaster recovery payments and a disaster recovery allowance have been offered by the federal government. One will be a one-off payment of up to $1,000. You can lodge an application on the Services Australia website.
Millions of dollars are expected to change hands at tomorrow's Magic Millions yearling sale. Buyers have flown in from around the world hoping to find their next champion.
It's a fine art picking the one in the hope it will become a champion.
Last year we grossed over 240 million, so we're hopeful of being somewhere in line with that. Obviously that was a record year in itself.
Buyers have flown in from all over the world for the Magic Millions yearling sale.
There's 4 auctioneers. We've got over 1,000 to sell in the first session of the sale, then another 400, so 1,400 total.
Prospective buyers were at the stables early, inspecting their favourites. A tough choice to find their next investment.
One every 2 minutes, which is fairly rapid fire, given they're making around $300,000 each. So quite a big week of selling.
One to watch, lot number 19. He's well bred and is back to become a champion.
2 of the horses sold here have gone on to win the highest prize money worldwide. Winx and Golden 60 have combined earnings of more than $50 million.
It's the Gold Coast. Where would you rather be this time of year? It's like Christmas for us horse people.
And tips if you're new to the game?
Come and pick the one you want. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder, which is fantastic. There's no rules necessarily.
The yearling sale kicks off at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Some of the stars of the show will take centre stage down here at Surfers Paradise tomorrow morning. The annual beach races will be held on the foreshore. Organisers are expecting a crowd of several thousand people. They're also hoping to avoid the scenes we saw last year. 12 months ago, several jockeys crashed at the end of the race and fell into the sea. Their horses then went for a gallop through the streets, weaving in and out of traffic while being chased by police. The action tomorrow starts at 6:30 a.m. and if you are planning on coming down, the advice is to bring an umbrella.
Yes, Danielle Bowen. They sure know how to put on a show down there, don't they?
Hopefully lassos won't be needed though.
Very true.
Coming up tonight in sport, the Gold Coast star who helped the Heat secure a home final at Carrara. Plus why Liam O'Brien's riding a high into another year on the Surfing World Tour.
the New Year medical test for all Queensland GPs, the official clinic-by-clinic bulk billing examination.
Massive declines in bulk billing over the last couple of years.
How much are you paying to go to the doctor?
Hitting the hip pockets of everyday Australians.
The new changes. Will it be cheaper for you in 2024? On 7 News at 6.
First to league and reporting for pre-season 3 weeks early has given Titans new recruit Keenan Palacia a head start to securing a spot in Des Hasler's 17. The 26-year-old hasn't had many conversations with the head coach, but insists he'll let his actions do the talking.
To be honest, I'll play anywhere he wants. I'll peel oranges for him if he needs that, but wherever he puts me, I'll play.
The former PBC student comes home after spending the past 5 years with the Broncos. The Brisbane Heat has booked a ticket to host a home final in Carrara after last night's thrilling win over the Hurricanes. Xavier Bartlett's breakout season continues. The Gold Coaster leads the BBL's wicket-taking tally.
He's turned from Brisbane Heat sub to BBL star in less than a season.
And Bartlett's dream season with the ball continues.
And just one ball later, did this.
Edged and taken! Renshaw the catch. Bartlett's on a hat-trick. The Heat are on a tear.
2 turned to 3 as the former TSS boy became a headache for the Hurricanes.
The crowd here at the Gabba was unbelievable. It was the loudest it's been. Really glad to walk away with the win.
To do that, the Heat needed to defend 132. The Hurricanes sent it right down to the wire.
The Brisbane Heat have pulled off a brilliant win. And they clawed their way back when it looked like the Hurricanes might be going to steal victory.
6 straight for the first time, the only unbeaten team left in the BBL, now guaranteed a home final at Heritage Bank Stadium in a fortnight. Savannah Burke, 7 Gold Coast News.
Liam O'Brien jets off to Hawaii ahead of the Surfing World Tour on a high after winning the Single Fin Classic. The Burleigh Heads boy edged out world champion Joel Parkinson on his home turf to win the prestigious title.
Oh, it's a shampoo exit, but we'll give it to him.
Other Burleigh board rider Rico Haybittle took out the junior division. And Amanda, a big crowd there, especially with Joel Parkinson.
Yeah, and a shampoo exit.
Yeah.
Coming up on 7 News, Wales on the hunt. We show you rare video of their spectacular spirals at sea.
And storms remain on the forecast. I'll have everything you need to know after the break.
The Gold Coast is making the switch to 7 News, and we want you to be a part of it. If there's a local issue that needs attention or something's happening in your suburb, in your street, we want to know about it. Give us a call, send us a message, or drop us an email.
And thanks for all your messages. Katrina Blowers joins us now. The top stories coming up shortly in the news at 6.
Steve, just ahead in the news at 6. Holiday nightmare. A plane flips on a Queensland island. Passengers injured. 4 teens arrested after a wild chase on Brisbane's north side. Who is in the right?
Should have paid.
The angry tradie video that sparked heated debate. The latest interest rates outlook. Why southeast supermarket shelves are bare. Bulk billing examination. Will going to the doctor be cheaper for you this year? Heartbreak for Matilda's star Sam Kerr. And Aussie shine at the Golden Globes. All those details in the news at 6.
Okay, thanks, Katrina. Well, thousands will be flocking to Surfers Beach tomorrow to see racehorses thundering down the sand for the Magic Millions. Liz Cantor has the latest forecast. Liz, we might need to pack a brolly.
Yes, I think that would be a very sensible idea, Amanda. Hello, everyone. Showers are back on the forecast tomorrow, but they shouldn't be as frequent as what we saw today, with more dry breaks. For inland suburbs, our western Gold Coast suburbs, the threat of storms will linger. I'll have more on this shortly, but first, let's have a look at our current conditions here in Surfers Paradise. It is 26 degrees with moderate northeasterlies, and it's warm and muggy thanks to that high humidity. Today we experienced some significant rainfall around Calugria Bar and impressive totals near 100 millimetres and still rising for areas around Mount Nathan. It was slightly cooler thanks to the cloud. Most suburbs reached 27. On the satellite, you can see a huge band from the northwest to inland southeast Queensland. Storms are embedded with the main risk heavy rainfall and outside risk of large hail and damaging winds. The threat of storms continues tomorrow into the night before clearing in the early hours of Wednesday. Closer to the coast, north to northeasterlies will lead to widespread warm and humid conditions with scattered showers. You should still be able to pop down to the beach in the dry breaks to cool off from a top of 29 for Coolangatta and Burleigh. Showers over Nerang and Coomera and those storms over Canungra. For Surfers Paradise and those heading to the early beach gallop, showers are forecast to pass through, but they shouldn't be long-lived, a top of 28. And on our waters, high tide in the morning, the swell is easing back and winds will remain from the north to northeast, which isn't great news for our surfers. Expect wind-affected waves around waist to shoulder high. The ocean temp has warmed up and the easterly swell remains inconsistent. The all-important outlook, a shower to Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, not much in them, but Saturday, a higher chance of showers with southeasterly winds, not the best news for race day. And if you do head to the beach, especially along our northern beaches tomorrow, watch for a deep drop-off close to shore. Amanda and Steve.
The news for this Monday.
We will be back with more Gold Coast news tomorrow at 5:30, but stay with us. The news at 6 is starting now. Good night.